Alright, so first we're gonna go over talents. Trice, shut the fuck up. Holy shit. First we're gonna look for these talents. Yes, we are gonna look for these talents. I just said that. Anyway, number 1, level 15 talent, we're gonna go for Wild Charge because the other ones sucks balls, and Feline Swiftness is kind of useless at level 90 when you have the 2-piece bonus, because it increases your movement speed by 15% already, so that's kind of cancelled out. Displacer Beast is useless because as a Feral Druid, you're a melee class, you want to stick to your target, and Wild Charge is very good for many things, which I will show you later. But yeah, Wild Charge is choice. Cenarian Ward is also very good because it heals you for a lot of damage you take. Typhoon is kind of a must. Incarnation is a must. Force of Nature sucks in 5.4. Level 75, it really depends on your playstyle. You should try out both Disorienting Roar and Mighty Bash, but I prefer Mighty Bash. Level 90 is kind of a no-brainer. You're gonna pick Heart of the Wild, unless you want to suck big, gigantic balls. Those are the talents. Now let's move on to Glyphs. Here we have Cat Form Glyph, increases your healing done for 20% in Cat Form. Very good, because you're going to be casting a lot of instant healing touches when you're in Cat Form. And then we have Glyph of Bark Skin, reduces the chance you'll be critically hit by 25%. Very good against mages and rogues and all that. And then we have Glyph of Savagery, which is cool because you can start in stealth and roar like this, and when you open you will have full bleeds with the roar up. I'll explain what that means later. And thirdly, hit cap and agility. I think every single melee class in World of Warcraft and PvP has 3% hit chance. I'm not too sure, but anyway, Feral Druids have a hit chance or hit cap at 3%, so try to get hit 3%. I have 2.92 because I'm a noob and I don't have all my PvP pieces yet, but yeah. And now let's look at some passives that are good to know. So there are 2 passives that are very important to know as a Feral Druid. I mean, if you're a really beginner, then maybe you don't know this, but if you played Feral before, you should know this. Number 1 is Predatory Swiftness. I'm gonna ask Trice to help me here. So Predatory Swiftness is something that'll give you an instant cast. So for every finishing move with a combo point, will give you a 20% chance, meaning that 1 combo point and using a finishing move will give you 20% chance. 2 combo points is 40%, 60, 80, 100% chance of getting this passive buff. So I have, let's see here, I have 5 combo points and I use a finishing move, for example Roar or a Bite or a Rip, then I will get this buff, Predatory Swiftness. And what I can do with this buff is that I can either heal myself for 106k, or I can, of course, I can also root my target instantly, or I can cast and hibernate, but I can't cast a hibernate on a person. I can cast hibernates on other Feral Druids, chamois ghost forms, hunter pets. So keep that in mind when you're dueling hunters. You can sleep their pets and their pet will be useless unless they BM out of it, Beast Mastery or something. Yeah, good to know. The other passive you wanna keep your eye out on is I couldn't find it before as well. Here, Primal Fury. When you crit someone, you're gonna get an additional combo point. So let's see here. I'm gonna Ravage that crit, so that gave me 2 combo points. I'm gonna Mangle that crit, so that gave me another 2 combo points. I'm gonna rake that crit, so it gave me 2 combo points, but 5 combo points is the max. So yeah, what I'm trying to say by this is that you shouldn't spam your abilities and waste your energy trying to build combo points, since if you spam your abilities too much, you will be losing combo points. So if I were to spam buttons like this, and then I'm critting and stuff, notice there I had 5 combo points, but I crit, so I would have had 6 combo points. Sometimes you can't control it because you don't know when you'll crit, because that's RNG. But just keep that in mind before you spam buttons. So always just, you know, keep easy, you know, press buttons one by one and look for those crits. And when you've played enough, you will know the feeling, and you will know how many combo points you'll get per hit, so that you won't waste combo points and energy on using useless skills and shit like that. Next up, I want to tell you the damaging abilities. On number 1, the most damage as a Feral Druid comes from Ravage. Number 2, it comes from Shred, but Shred is not an ability that you can use often, except you have to be behind your target. So that means whenever you're behind the target, you should use Shred if possible. And also, you also want to keep your bleeds up. You have 2 bleeds, you have Rake and Rip. Rip is a very good damage over time ability, very good. And now I'm just going, I'm just talking. Alright, so we're gonna, let's see here, let's see some basic openers of a Feral Druid. So since you have the glyph of Savage Roar, you can make your macro to prowl and roar at the same time. So it's slash cast prowl slash cast Savage Roar, and since they don't share a global cooldown, you're gonna be able to roar right away. So the most basic opener would be you let your energy hit 100, you pounce, you ravage, rake, shred, 5 combo points. By the time you apply these dots, you're gonna have your roar is gonna be up while you apply these 5 combo points. So like one full, Jesus Christ, one full what do you call, round of Rip made him go down to 20%, which is, you know, which tells you how strong Feral Bleeds are. The second opener I can think of is using 5 first combo points for a Savage Roar. That means that you're gonna make a switch, or you're just gonna keep slow on the DPS in the opener, which is easier for later on when you start bursting. And I guess that's it. So number 1, you use your first 5 combo points on the 5-point Rip, or you use your 5-point combo points on the first Savage Roar. Those are the 2 basic openers. Now there are some rules you have to remember as a Feral Druid to do decent damage. For example, as if you've played a rogue, you will probably know this, you have to keep your Slice and Dice or Savage Roar up at all times. Even before applying a bleed, you need to have this up if you want your Rip to do more damage. Yes, it affects your Rip dot damage. Also, another rule you have to remember is that you have to, Ferocious Bite consumes it. Ferocious Bite is 25 energy, but it also consumes 25 more energy. Holy shit, I'm just like not able to speak right now. It costs 25 energy, but you can use additional 25 more energy to increase the damage for 100%. That means that let's see here, a full, without my roar being up, if I Ferocious Bite at 50 energy, I will do 68k damage. And then when I do it without, when I bite at 25 energy, I will do 30k damage. So I hope you guys understand. So Ferocious biting at 50 energy is very important if you want to go for those killing blows. You can probably with full PvP gear bite mages for 100k with Ferocious bite, with roar up, with PvP trinkets, and at 50 energy. So make sure when you go for those bites, the bite is very tricky because it takes so much energy. And it's also that one killing move feral druids have. So remember to use it when you have 50 energy. If you're really desperate, I'd rather say go for a 4 combo point 50% energy bite instead of a 5.25 energy bite, if you know what I mean. That is a rule you should remember. The other rule, I think I'm repeating this, you should always keep your roar up before you bite, before you rip and all that stuff. Man, this guide is the best guide I've ever made in my life. So we're going to Ironforge now to show you how you can set up to do one shot as a feral. Now, setting up one shot as a feral is much different from, let's say, a warrior. A warrior just needs to, you know, stack up 100 rage and press their one shot and start spamming abilities for massive damage. But as a feral druid, you kind of need to do more than that. So let's say you're in 2v2s or 3v3s and you are on your target, and your roar is up at 41 seconds, so it's a full 5-point roar. Now what you want to do, that's the first step. Now what you want to do is, preferably, you should save your Tiger's Fury to go with the one shot. What you want to do is have all bleeds as well. So step 1, have your roar up. Step 2, have full bleeds on target. And step 3, build 4 or 5 combo points. 3 combo points is good enough, so I have full bleeds here, I have my roar up, then I want to use Tiger's Fury, my one-shot macro, Ravage, then Bite. Ravage, 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 well, Bite. The theory here is that when you use your one-shot macro, you will have a roar up, so that you'll do increased damage. Your bleeds are also up, so they're ticking for high amounts of damage. And when you ravage, your target will be at 3 combo points, and you use your one-shot macro and you ravage. It's most likely going to crit, so you'll get 2 more combo points, which means that you will get 5 combo points at the end. And at 5 combo points, you will have enough energy to bite as well, so that'll be a big bite. So let's get this straight. Number 1, keep your roar up. Number 2, try to have full bleeds on the target. Number 3, build 3 combo points, and then you press Tiger's Fury and your one-shot macro. Once you've done that, you ravage. You will have 5 combo points on the target, and then you bite. Since you have berserking up in your one-shot macro, you won't use that much energy, so you will be making 50 energy bites, which means that you'll do more damage. So I'm gonna try to show you it in 2 minutes and show you without resting, so you can see the full capabilities of Feral Druid or whatever, you know. But yeah, since I'm waiting for my one-shot macro to come up, I might as well show some macros. Whoops. The first macro you're probably going to need, is this power shift macro. What is this? Is it this one? It might not be this one. It's this one. This one right here. What this does is you can get out of roots really quickly. So for example, if you get rooted or novad as a mage, you can press that macro and you will turn into a cat form again, but really quickly without turning to a human. So this is good instead of, you know, pressing your cat form twice. Then you see that my human form is there for a split second. Rather than doing that, you can press the macro and you will turn into cat which will make you instantly come out of roots and novas. This is why mages have a hard time keeping ferals in a nova and shattering. Right, and now my one shot is up, so I will show you how one shot works as a feral. I wanna go stealth, get a roar up, pounce, ravage, rake, 5-point whip, shred, fairy fire. I can heal since I'm waiting for my energy to repull. Get some roar up. Okay, now I have full roar. I'm building 3 combo points. Okay, three combo points. Tiger's Fury, 1 shot, 5 points. Bite, ravage, 5.50 energy, bite, and then you can reapply bleeds, and then ravage, wait for 50 energy, and bite. Just like that. And that is how you one-shot as a feral druid. Alternatively, you can also not apply the bleeds while you're in that one-shot state. So what I mean by that is you can just keep spamming Ravage and do Ferocious bites at 50 energy instead of reapplying the bleeds while you are at that one-shot Incarnation and Berserk. But I like to apply my bleeds because most of the times feral druids don't get the kill as while they are in that one-shot state. More that you're going to need to control this healer while the bleeds tick for high damage and the target will die with the bleeds. But there are times where you would rather want to go for those Ravage bites without the bleeds on the target. So if I guess I can show that in a minute. Alright, welcome back to my very unstructured feral guide video. So, the second different type of one-shot you can do is obviously you want to set up your roar for a full 5-point roar so it has the enough duration for the full one-shot macro. And you want to build your, 3 combo points. 3 combo points. So you do Tiger's Fury, one-shot macro, spam Ravage, and bite. Spam Ravage, and bite. Spam Ravage, and bite. Personally, I'm not a very big fan of this type of one-shot because it's once the one-shot macro expires, you're kind of fucked because your damage will just drop. So what I like to do is do the other type of one-shot macro where I apply the bleeds if they fall off. As soon as they fall off, I want to apply the bleeds again. So that's 2 different types of one-shot. I like to go for the first one where I apply the bleeds if they fall off, even though I'm doing my one-shot macro. But that initial 3 combo points, one-shot macro, 5 combo points bite, is the big damage that can hit for big damage and can land kills sometimes. Yep, or diddly do. I look so angry. Alright, now let's move on to how to survive as a feral druid. Feral druids have a lot of fucking defensive cooldowns. Kind of like, I am just wondering how long this video is gonna be. Anyway, feral druids have, of course, bark skin. They have wall. They have shadow melt that can dodge storm bolts, deep freezes, all kinds of different fucking CCs, but that's only for night elves. You also have Heart of the Wild, Cenarion Ward. Make sure to use Cenarion Ward after Heart of the Wild, and also a trick. Cenarion Ward can last twice every Heart of the Wild. And Heart of the Wild and Cenarion Ward will heal you for about 100k per tick with Heart of the Wild up. So this is gonna run out in 8 seconds, and once you can there's enough time to reapply scenario reward one more time. So you're gonna have 2 times scenario rewards. That heals for 100k per tick. So 2 seconds for 6 seconds, so 3 ticks. So that's one way to survive. You also have Might of Ursoc that increases your health for 200k. The health does not go back when it runs out. Well, it does run out, but it heals you for 200k. Just think of it like that, 200k heal. And then you also have regeneration and healing touch that you can cast. You can also cast tranquility when you can, so you can heal yourself and your teammates. And that's about it. Also, you can turn into bear form and cast frenzied regeneration. And bear form also obviously increases your defensive stats, so you won't die as fast. So for example, when you're playing against a rogue, you kind of want to stand in defensive stance and let them open on you. And yeah, then you'll take less damage than standing in, for example, human form or cat form. So yeah, stand in bear form if someone's gonna open on you. As well as if you're in bear form and you can't get out of bear form because you want to stay defensive, you can, you know, charge. You can use mangle for free. You can use thrash for free, in contrary to using thrash for 50 energy as a feral druid. And also thrash applies a debuff that makes their physical damage dealt by 10% reduced. I don't see a lot of ferals using this. I think it's pretty useful, so make sure you use it against melee classes only, because melee classes do physical damage, obviously. So you go bear form. You can, when you're playing defensive, for example, they're doing their one shot, whatever, get in bear form, spam lacerate, spam mango, spam thrash, spam fairy fire, you know. And then when you're at 100 energy, 100 rage or like 60 rage, you can use frenzied regeneration. And you're gonna heal for 110,000 HP, 100k, and you can, you know, heal for that amount. That's a lot of healing, you know. It's very nice healing. Oh yes. Now here are some general tips. You can also use Soothe to get rid of berserking rage on warriors, so that your rogues or your priests can fear them. Very important that you use all your abilities as a fucking feral druid, because they suck right now, and unless you use every single ability except Hurricane or Revive, you will be a good feral. General tips: when you're waiting for your energy to pool, you can use abilities that don't cost energy. So what I mean by that is, if you're using your abilities, you know, whatever, I'm just spamming buttons, and I don't have energy and I have nothing to press right here, what I do is I just heal myself, cast fairy fire, you know, move around so that I'm not wasting time, so that I'm being effective every single global cooldown. If I don't have energy, I'm gonna be casting heals on myself, or trying to, for example, this is my focus target, I'll try to, you know, cast Cyclone on that bitch and wait for my energy to pull down, pull up again, so that I can use my abilities. Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. Oh, I have no energy, what will I do? Refresh my fairy fire, wait for 50 energy, bite. I have no energy. Oh, I'm gonna try to Cyclone the other bitch, you know, or root the other bitch. And then when I go into cat form again, I have 100 energy, and just gonna spam buttons, la 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 la. So it's a lot of shifting. You're gonna be using your instant casts effectively as well. You're gonna be shifting out to wait for your energy to repool. You're gonna be using bear form to be defensive and heal yourself for ridiculous amounts. All that good stuff. Also remember that remove corruption removes hex and warlock debuffs from you. Very important if you're playing against a chamois, of course, to, you know, remove that CC so that you don't get fucked. I think that's about it. Also, you know, be creative with Typhoon. You can push people off ledges and make the healer. For example, you can to peel your healer. If your healer has been trained, you can, you know, push people away with Typhoon off that bridge in that arena, whatever. I don't remember the name of the arena. Also, since a lot of classes have Dispel, when you're in cat form and you're Novad and you don't wanna use that macro to remove that root or Nova, whatever, you can also just imagine me stuck in a Nova. I can either use that shift macro to remove the Nova from me, or I can buff myself and still remove it while buffing myself, and then run to my target again. Then the mage will have to spell steal it again. That means that I will just cast my buff, or if he Novas me again, I will cast buff and then I will change to cap form and charge him, for example. Or, you know, if you're being lazy and you don't feel like your buff helps you that much, which I think it does, 5% agility bonus is good, you can just shift macro and just keep chasing him quickly if you're in a hurry to kill him while the healer CC'd or whatever like that. So that's two ways of getting out of a root, I guess. So it's either heal yourself and root, because when you heal yourself, you know, you're just switching forms, so you'll be out of that root. Or number two is that you can just use that macro and just keep running, because that will get you out of that root. Yep, I think that's it, man. Honestly, I think this is pretty fucking not structured feral guide, but I kind of just wanted to make it. I just wanna quickly add some things. For example, in arenas when you're playing 2s or 3s, you can try to cast Cyclone whenever you can, when your energy is not there, or you just feel like there's nothing you can do right now. Then you just try to cast Cyclone, and what this will do is that their healer or one of their DPSers will try to interrupt that Cyclone, and once they use that silence or interrupt on you, your healer will be able to free cast. That means that your healer will be able to Cyclone, or your healer will be able to fear, your healer will be able to heal you without being interrupted. So that's one good way in arenas. Also, using Shadow Meld, I think I've said this, to interrupt casts on you for Chaos Bolts, for example. You can even dodge deep freezes and things like that. As well as, one last thing I wanted to add, you can use Cenarion Ward on other people as well. So against rogue mage comps where they just go for my healer, I like to do Heart of the Wild Cenarion Ward on my healer, I like to spam Rejuvenate and heal them for ridiculous fucking 40Ks, and like it ticks for like 60Ks as well, I think. And just keep healing them, remove corruption on shit, my healer, and as well as cast Tranquility so that the mage is forced to counterspell me, so that they can't counterspell my healer, so that my healer will stay alive. Look at how ridiculous Heart of the Wild heal is. Look at that shit. 350k as a fucking Feral Druid. That shit is some crazy shit. So yeah, make sure that you know what your class is. Your Feral Druids are not very 100% DPS classes like warriors. Feral Druids are support melee classes. That means that they can heal, you know, stay alive by themselves by using instant cast heals and healings on themselves, bear form and all that stuff. So make use of that and you'll be a good player, I guess. Yeah, support class. Feral, support Feral. Support meow, support, you know. Anyway, if you liked it, then you suck my dick, and this was kind of fun to make. Welcome to our home beneath the mountain. Yes! Alright, thanks, peace.